Hey y'all, it's Brandon with Voodoo Forge, and I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I had most of the stuff. I had to get a few things, but what I've been needing to do is I had this old vise. Well, it's not too old, it's about 15 years old, but this vise, and mount it on a piece of plate left over from my welding table build. Now the reason for this is a vise on a plate like this. You can move it around when you're welding stuff. You can ground to it, and it doesn't really matter if it arcs in there. If you're welding and you've got a real good vise and you clamp to the table or something and you're welding something in the vise, you can get a little arc through the screw and it can put a little burr on there. Now a little burr isn't a big deal, but over the years it'll help to wallow that screw out and ruin that vise. So this is a nice, kind of sacrificial thing. Not really sacrificial, it'll last me for years. But I can move it out of the way. It has lots of uses. It's really handy to have in the shop. But like all of my projects, for some reason, this turned into a mess. So let's look at it. Well, here's what we're going to need for our little project. I've got one of the last pieces of plate left from my table build. It's 3 foot long, 1 foot wide. I'm going to be cutting 10 inches off of it. I've got a little 4-inch vise. I've had this thing for 15 years. I think I got it at Tractor Supply years ago. Gonna need a clamp to clamp this down while I cut it. I'm going to cut it with a circular saw with a metal blade in it. Of course, I'm going to need a square, going to need a tape measure, going to need soapstone. That's my bolts. They're 1.5 inch long, 1/2 inch bolts, coarse thread. 1/2 inch drill bit, because of course the bolts that I got to do this and everything I got to do it is larger than the holes in my vise, so I'm going to have to drill that out. Shouldn't be a big deal because it's not going to be a lot of torque on this vise. Square, tap. This is a 27/64 drill bit. That's what you need to drill for to tap for a 1/2 inch hole. Transfer punch. If you've never used one of these are great things to have around. Cutting oil, and then my don't injure yourself stuff. On top of that, going to be using angle grinder some and drill press, and yeah, I think that's it. I'm using these metal cutting blades. I want it to just barely be cutting. I don't mind making several passes. Cutting off 10 inches of this. There's our plate cut. I'm going to let that cool off, and then I'll clean those edges up. Smooth this out a little bit. My vise on my plate where the handle just barely sticks out, just by about 1 inch clearance, and I've centered it. I'm going to take my transfer punch and see what it does. It fits the hole in this, and then it will center. It will put a mark dead center of that hole. That one just barely marked. Mark it again. Now I've got my marks where I can drill my holes, and they will line up. First, I'm going to drill my 1/4 inch pallet holes. Lined up there. I don't want to jinx it, but this steel drills very easy. is our 27/64 bit. Alright, it's got our holes. To be clear, I don't do a lot of tapping, but I'll tell you what I do know. There are three main kinds of taps that you tap by hand with. A taper tap, a bottoming tap, and this is a plug tap. And this is kind of like the jack of all trades. A taper tap is better at starting, and a bottom tap is if you're tapping into something where you have to thread all the way to the bottom of a hole. Since we're going all the way through, it doesn't matter. But I've never used either one of those. All I've ever used is a plug tap. And I'm not good at it. But here's the basic things you need. You need a tap, you need a handle, you need a square, and you need some cutting oil. And if I can get this done here. I need a tool. This is a prime example of what I need a little vise on a plate for. Just little somethings that I need held real quick like. Okay, I will work on this thing later and make it prettier. In the meantime, let's see if it works better. Start this way. Okay, so I hadn't done that in a while, and I really got to thinking about it, and I don't think I have straight threaded a hole since high school, and these little things, these little wormy ones, are crap. You really have to have a good handle. I've straightened out a lot of threads and fixed a lot of threads, but as far as completely threading a hole, that was more challenging than I remember. And the main reason why, you can see I tore this thing that I made up, is I didn't have anything good to hold on to the tap. I got it done, but I'm definitely gonna have to invest in a way higher quality tap handle. What am I doing? I got sockets. So I can cut them off. Okay, I've got them all driven in. Now I'm going to cut them off and then grind to smooth them out. After cutting them off with a cutoff wheel, now I'm going to grind them smooth. Well, there it is. That's all there is to this. And all it is a small vise bolted to a piece of plate. I can move it where I want to. I can use it to clamp stuff. I can slide it out of the way. I can ground to it when I'm welding and not worry about it because it's a cheap vise. So that's all we were going for. And it seems real simple. It is real simple, but it's a really handy thing to have. It's not one of those things you need every day, but when you need it, you need it. Well, y'all, that's that. And as usual on one of my projects, I had to relearn some lessons, but that's okay. I will be getting a much better handle for my taps, and I guess I'm going to make this into a twisting wrench. So that'll be a video. But anyway, I hope y'all got something out of this, and if y'all have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you like the video, hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. Y'all behave yourselves. Let me tell you, son, it is hot in Tennessee right now. Hot and humid because it's been raining and it's hot. You put those together, you get the hot, humid thing.